Welcome to Terror in Tandem, a podcast about finding entertainment in the macabre. Hosted by the knowledgeable and lovable Laura and Richard Mathiasen. Each episode we discuss the horror genre, from books to film to TV and beyond. Sometimes even from the beyond. You can find us on YouTube at Terror in Tandem, on Instagram at Terror in Tandem, and you'll always find our latest episode on our website, terrorintandem.com.
All of those are true and accurate statements.
Just throw Terror in Tandem out there and good things will come to you in the form of pod.
I just want to thank everybody for our 5-star reviews on Spotify. We have 13 of them.
For real?
Yeah.
That's my favorite number.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Continue to 5-star review us on Spotify.
And if you tell
Apple
13 of your
Podcasts,
friends and they tell 13 of their friends, you see where I'm going with
give
this.
us a like and a follow on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We'll keep doing this.
We'll do anything you want.
Well,
I will
not
do
anything.
anything.
No.
Just, I'm down.
I just opened the cellar door and I'm going to throw Richard down into it. So if you want Richard to be rescued, you need to give us a like or a follow on any of the social media platforms.
And as always, the phone lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. So
they are.
call
Wow.
now.
They are lighting up.
Yes. Get down that
Let's
rotary.
take a live caller. Oh, hello? 911, what's your emergency? Oh, no one meant to call you.
So today is a day in which we celebrate.
Let's back up for a second.
Goodness.
Go back in the cellar for a second.
Sitting very close to you. Like nose to cheek.
Here's the thing, everyone. We just launched our 94th episode.
Did we now?
With Worst Parents episode.
Yeah.
So do you know what that means? We're 6 episodes away from our 100th episode.
Future classic.
I mean, can you put sound effects in?
I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Sure.
Right here where I was screaming and making all my own
effects.
Yeah. Add effects here.
Insert file name. Laura noise.
No, I don't want to be the effects.
Oh,
I've
already saved it and clipped it. I'm going to be looping that in the background.
Anyway, I just want to say that this month, April marks the month that we officially started this podcast 2 years ago, everyone.
What a journey.
2022.
Back when I was just a young lad with peach fuzz on my lip.
Yeah, barely any white hair. Now you're...
I know.
It's like this horror podcast. Every episode, he gets 10 gray hairs.
It's because I keep having to fight Freddy in dreams.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot out of it.
It must be something because the amount of white hair that you consume through your follicles and then spit out in hair form.
That's the best
extraordinary
way to describe it.
That's hair growth.
Yeah. No, you consume follicles. And
consume gray and white through your follicles.
Well, listen, I said I was fighting Freddy in dreams. I didn't say I was winning.
No, you're losing that battle.
Every day I wake up with more gray hair.
Back in the basement.
Slashes across
Maybe
my
it's
chest.
because I keep you in the basement so much.
I haven't seen the sun in years.
Oh, well.
This soup tastes like Pine Sol.
So just letting you know that we are going to come up with something special for our 100th episode.
Oh, yeah.
And
we already have it planned because we're very
we do already have it
thought
planned.
out people who plan things.
We do. I mean, we do plan things.
We do. Yeah. I mean, it's not like we would ever pause and then have an off mic discussion and then come up with something. No, in the moment, live. We don't even edit these episodes, people.
We don't.
It's perfection.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Richard's knocking on the basement door to get out so that we can record this episode. We're going to deliver you our April recommendations,
Yay!
2024 edition.
It's time for your monthlies, everyone.
Yep.
So get a heating pad, put on some stretch pants, and settle down for
get that box of chocolates out.
Our monthly
turn
recommendations.
On or tune in or flip on or flip in one of these recommendations.
Just stop flipping off. It's rude and it hurts me.
So we're going to jump right into Richard's.
Yay! Jump right into Richard. That's my theme for 2024.
Just like those white hair follicles.
So Tan France is a very handsome man, and he's quite gray. So I take it as a compliment. Anyway, The First Omen is my first recommendation. April 5th.
Didn't that come out in the 70s?
Yes, technically it did. So now, I know what you're thinking. Another Omen movie? Because that's what I was thinking,
I'm thinking.
Too. Yeah. Now, but then slow down a second, because the first 3 movies are legit great, especially 1 and 2. 3 is also, I would say, an underrated classic. Omen 4 is terrible, and the remake was just sort of like there. This, though, it really looks like it's doing what a good remake should, which is offering something fresh. So apparently director Arkshanna Stevenson, who has largely been a TV director. She's done some really good stuff on Legion and Channel Zero, some favorites over here.
Great.
Yeah.
Excellent. We like that.
Not only are those 2 excellent shows, but they're 2 visually arresting shows, so that's promising. Anyway, apparently the question of why do an Omen movie was fresh on her mind when she received the script that she and her partner rewrote. Now, the take here is this is a prequel to the original story. Now, for those of you that haven't seen it, stop this episode right now and go watch The Omen. It's legit. It's so good. It's such a classic. David Warner, Gregory Peck. Anyway. So the first Omen is a prequel to the original film, and that, of course, was young Damien, who is the Antichrist, and his bougie parents and all that. So this is about now in the original Omen, Damien is adopted, so he has adopted parents, and that's a big plot point, and it's actually kind of cool. I won't ruin it. So this movie is about Damien's biological mother, who we haven't known. I've never seen her. Don't know who she is. She's like kind of mentioned briefly in a throwaway line in the first movie, but this goes into that story. So Nell Tiger Free, who's a young actor who has been in Servant and Game of Thrones, and I didn't know a lot about her, but I've been watching her promo tour for this movie, and she seems really delightful. Like, she's really enthusiastic about horror, and the way she talks about it, it's kind of like when Lupita Nyong'o was doing the promo tour for Us, and she was just like really nerding out about horror movies, and like, this is awesome. So anyway, she says that Possession, Andrei Zulawski's Possession with Isabella Adjani, was a big influence. So right off the bat, I'm interested. And this follows her character, who is a nun, who befriends, the mother of Damien.
Oh, she played Marcella in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Marcella. Yeah, she was the youngest Targaryen.
Lannister.
No, the
Lannister.
Yeah, she, like everybody else on the show, didn't end well for her. But she's all grown up now, and she's a nun, and she's befriending the mother of the Antichrist. So this movie has a banger of a cast. In addition to Nell Tiger Free, we've got Bill Nighy, Ralph Ineson, Sonia Braga, and Charles Dance, all playing, I'm assuming, various creepy church people with secrets. What director Arkshanna Stevenson, the way she pitched this was body horror from a female perspective. So this is about church abuse of women, about this pregnant woman who's kind of taken in by a secret sect and shepherding in the birth of the Antichrist, and just the way that women are used. And it's been described as very gory and visceral, but strictly from a feminist or female perspective. She said it was important that be shown but not fetishized or glorified. So it sounds like a tough watch, honestly.
Nell Tiger Free and Charles Dance are reunited.
Yes.
Because they were grandfather and granddaughter.
They were on Game of Thrones. Yeah. I'm just based on the trailer, I don't think he's any nicer to her in this than he was on that show.
Awesome.
But so the first trailer especially, I really recommend watching the teaser. It's very stylish. It's really cool. And it sets a very interesting tone, kind of a vibe that you don't see a lot these days. A bit of a throwback. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think I'm not against the idea of franchise properties as long as you are showing me something new. And it sounds like Stevenson is doing just that. So April 5th in theaters, The First Omen. I have high hopes for this one. But, if it stinks, low stakes, who cares?
Back in the cellar with you then.
Not again.
My first recommendation is a book called Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. And it comes out April 9th. And S.A. Barnes is a high school librarian, and she's published many novels under the pen name Stacy Cade, for YA and romance.
She's a librarian who also publishes books.
Yeah.
It's like the dream of
know.
dreams.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
That is awesome.
So nice. Stacy Cade.
Well done on building a great life for yourself.
Stacy Cade is YA and romance, and S.A. Barnes is for horror, specifically
I love that.
sci-fi horror. She wrote Dead Silence, which came out in 2022, which has been described as The Shining meets the Titanic. But this new novel of hers, Ghost Station, follows a psychologist named Ophelia Bray, who's dedicated her life to the study and prevention of ERS, which is a space-based condition, most famous for a case that resulted in the brutal murder of 29 people.
What's ERS?
It's a space-based condition.
What's a space-based condition?
I think it's a created condition of this author that she's studying.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I thought it was a real thing.
I think it's like a psychological break.
Nice.
With hallucinations.
Space madness.
Yeah, exactly.
You got a touch of the space madness.
So she's assigned to a small exploration crew, and they begin to establish residency on an abandoned planet, and it becomes clear that the crew is hiding something. So Dr. Bray focuses on her new role, but her crew is more interested in investigating the ancient planet that they're on and the mystery behind the previous colonizers' departure. Then their pilot is discovered gruesomely murdered, and they wonder, is it ERS or is it something else?
Nice.
And Ophelia and her crew must work together to figure out what's happening.
It's got that unreliable narrator you like so much.
Yeah.
I am always shocked by how few authors take advantage of this, but there are some. Brian Evanson writes some really good sci-fi horror short stories. Horror in space, my God, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Space is horrifying anyway. Everything is lethal. Just being there will kill you. Even if you're protected, you just stay there long enough and your bones will elongate. It's a fucking terrifying experience any way you look at it. Why aren't there more horror in space? And also, ghost stories in space. That's an amazing idea. If there are other civilizations, then do they have their own ghosts?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to, this doctor is basically creating this term for space madness.
I can verify that unless it stands for Economic Research Service or Education Resource Strategies, then it is probably a creation.
I'm pretty sure the author made it up.
I'm going to second that.
To follow within the space madness trope.
Yes.
And to study
a bunch of astronauts coming down with education resource strategies on an asteroid.
Yeah, it's like insignificance,
Cosmic
lack of
horror.
social interaction.
Yeah. I love it. I might read this one.
Awesome.
I might learn to read
Comes
and
out
then read this one.
April 9th. So a matter of days.
Wow.
What's your next?
My next is a TV show. So let's say April 5th comes around and you're like, wow, that cool guy Richard that I was listening to, who just sounds like such a great guy. He really made The First Omen sound great, but I don't want to leave the house because it's scary. So I'm going to stay in. Well, friend, first off, good decision. And second, why not watch Parasite the Grey on Netflix? Because that's coming out April 5th from Young Sang-ho, South Korea's maestro behind such beloved classics as Train to Busan.
Oh,
and
very nice.
Hellbound, which is getting a season 2. So busy guy. Now, Parasite might sound familiar. It's spelled with a Y. It was a manga. It was then an anime. It was also a live-action Japanese film. I personally have only ever experienced it through the anime. It's really good. I loved it. So in the original anime. It's about this high school student in Japan, and these parasites that rain down on Earth and burrow into people's brains and take over their personalities, and they can also make their bodies like split apart, and it's kind of like The Thing, honestly. Like they grow limbs.
Gross.
And it's a lot of like weird, creepy body horror. And if that sounds wild, may I remind you, it was an anime. So the hero of the film, however, he wakes up while this thing's trying to get in his brain, and instead the thing burrows into his arm. So he and the parasite both retain their personalities and actually end up befriending each other and fighting the other parasites.
Oh.
So he uses his like super arm to, smack down other parasites. It's like Akira, David Cronenberg, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's really, really cool. So I am excited for this. Now, this is an adaptation. I should mention the author is Hitoshi Iwaki, and he has been very gracious. He said some really lovely things about this adaptation. He's like the anti-Alan Moore, who's always like, I fucking hate it, I'm not watching that. Which I get it. But he has seen it, and he said it was a very faithful adaptation. This moves the action to South Korea. It's a new story with new characters, but the same premise of these, drill worms that rain down on you and burrow up your nose into your brain and turn you into like a splitty, gross meat bag thing that, I don't know, has lots of teeth. So there's this secretive paramilitary organization called Team Grey that's, hunting down the parasites. And I'm guessing from the trailer and the synopsis that she plays the sort of role of having like a parasite, but she's not controlled by it. So it looks nice and gory. It's 6 episodes. It's on Netflix. And the director has a damn near spotless track record for cool shit. So Parasite the Grey.
Awesome. Not going to watch that.
Probably not.
But
I am.
We just talked about some, infestation type things.
We did on the show. Worms coming out all sorts of places.
Ew. Well, let's take a break because I have to extract my worms, and then we'll come right back.
All right, I'll get the tongs.
Okay.
Getting away with literal murder takes skills. And baby, you've got them. But when it comes to crafting the perfect costume, well, let's just say your talents lie elsewhere. Maybe mommy never taught you to sew before you killed her and stole her face. Maybe you have knives for hands or husky meat paws, perfect for bashing campers, but not so great at threading a needle. But that doesn't mean you don't deserve to look cool. So come on down to Tears of a Clown Makeup and Costume Emporium and treat yourself to the obscene makeover your parents always suspected was hiding just beneath the surface. At Tears of a Clown Makeup and Costume Emporium, we look past your tired flesh suit to bring out the real you. Working together to determine your nightmare-inducing look, our team of sartorial sadists will assist you with all the fittings, measurements, and elective surgeries. So save your creativity for your ironic kill tableaus. From sloppy clown fits to demonic priest and everything in between, we guarantee a look to satisfy the monster within. If you're unhappy with your look, come on back in and we'll straight up kill you. Be sure to ask about our Cenobite special. Get one half of your head riveted with nails, get the other half free. This is a fake ad for a fake product on a horror-themed podcast. Dressing up is cool, hurting people is not. Seriously, I shouldn't have to tell you this. Ooh, that was a record breaker.
We're back with my next recommendation, which is also a TV show.
Oh.
It comes out April 17th on Hulu, 8 episodes, called Under the Bridge.
Oh, yes.
And it's starring Riley Keough and Lily Gladstone from Killers of the Flower Moon. Good to see her, already back
working
in front of me.
Yep.
I'm really excited about it. So this story is based on a true crime novel of the same name by an author called Rebecca Godfrey.
And we do love those true crimes, don't we, America?
Sometimes. So Rebecca Godfrey wrote this Under the Bridge true crime novel
Downtown?
in 1997. She handpicked, when this got greenlit, handpicked Keogh and Gladstone, but then she succumbed to cancer in 2022. So the author unfortunately won't see this show.
But her wish came true. Yeah.
Fruition. But it is going to be, the cast that she wanted.
Really good casting.
Yes. So the true story of 14-year-old Rena Verk, who went to a party to be with her friends, was never seen again. Her disappearance sparks an investigation, which is led by a local detective named Cam Bentland, played by Gladstone. And when Verk is found dead, Bentland teams up with a writer named Rebecca Godfrey. So Riley Keough is actually playing Rebecca Godfrey, and she hopes to make a book about this mystery. And so the two team up to solve the murder and probe the lives of all of her girlfriends that are accused of her murder. So I'm very interested to see this. I think it looks good. The director has said that her inspiration was Truman Capote, even though it's been compared to True Detective a bit.
Okay.
And so I'm really interested in this. April 17th on Hulu. It's been a while since there's been a mystery horror story like this on Hulu that I've been interested. So
all right,
I'm going to check that out.
Well, I mean, just based on the leading ladies alone, it sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Very excited.
So let's say April 5th has come and gone and you've worked up the nerve to leave the house.
Oh, boy.
I would say, good for you. That is healthy. Just be careful. Seriously, be very, very careful. So careful. But it's April 12th now and you want to hit the theaters. Why not go see National Treasure, Nicolas Cage?
What?
No, he is a national treasure.
Because wasn't he also in a movie, National Treasure?
I've never heard of that. So why not go see Arcadian, coming out in theaters April 12th, directed by Ben Brewer. Now, Arcadian, this looks dope. Now, any aficionado of the maestro Mr. Cage knows that when you watch a Nicolas Cage movie, you're in for one of two experiences. A surprisingly subdued Nicolas Cage, kind of like adaptation, or every single other movie that he's ever been in. So this looks like the former, kind of a quiet Cage role, which is interesting.
A cagey role?
Ideally, you get both in the same movie, like Mandy, where you get the subdued quiet Cage and also the bananas on acid Cage. So go see Mandy. Mandy's amazing. Anyway, Arcadian, it's a post-apocalyptic tale about Nicolas Cage living in the woods with his 15-year-old twin sons, played by Jaden Martell from It and The Lodge, also starring Riley Keough, and Maxwell Jenkins, who was in Netflix's Lost in Space.
Okay.
So, yeah. They are living in the woods where, according to the trailers and the synopsis, you don't want to be outside after dark. There's monsters. Mm-hmm. Early reviews, this premiered at South by Southwest, have really praised the creature design of aforementioned monsters.
I think it takes a while for you to see the monsters too.
Yeah, well, it's not, while it does have, action and a lot, it's really, I think at its heart, more of a character study and a family drama, the dynamics of a father raising these two children in isolation alone, and now they're 15. So what happens is...
trying to protect them from this enemy, but they're desire
teenagers.
To be like regular kids in any way they can.
One of them sneaks out to meet a girl who's at like another farm and doesn't make it home before nightfall. So Nicolas Cage has to go out and rescue him. And I think that's when shit really starts to go down. Anyway, this film, as I mentioned, it premiered at South by Southwest to great acclaim. It's really being praised. A lot of buzz. It looks fantastic. If you are a Nicolas Cage fan, then this is a no-brainer. It looks like a legit Nicolas Cage. Some Nicolas Cage projects I enjoy, and they're also ludicrous, like Willy's Wonderland or Drive Angry. or The Wicker Man. They can be both. But some performances are legit, artistic. So I am unabashedly, proudly a Nicolas Cage superfan. But I think even if you're not, this is him at his least cagey. So you can go and enjoy, just a performance by a semi-normal human. I like it when he bugs out, though.
Yeah, I know you do.
It's amazing.
Awesome.
April 12th, Arcadian.
Good.
It does. And for you to say that, it means a lot to me and Nick. It really does.
So my last is also an A name movie, and it's coming out in April as well, because this is April recommendations.
Then it fits
lest
the
you
theme.
all forgot.
Yeah.
April 19th, this comes out, and the name of this film is Abigail. So it's a heist, it's a horror, it's a dark comedy. It's about a group of criminals who are hired to kidnap a ballerina who's the youngest daughter of a powerful underworld figure. They do this in an isolated mansion, and things don't go well. So it's starring Giancarlo Esposito, Dan Stevens, Catherine Newton, Angus Cloud in his final film, Melissa Barrera, and Kevin Durant.
That is a great cast.
And it's directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, two of the three directors known as Radio Silence,
who have famously brought us in the past few years some of our very favorite movies.
Well, what did I say when I saw this trailer? It reminds me of Ready or Not,
which
they directed.
Yes.
So they directed Ready or Not, Scream 5, and Scream 6.
And Scream 6. And little aside, speaking of Melissa Barrera and Scream, I believe beloved co-host me called it a few episodes ago when all that bullshit went down that
Nev Campbell would be back.
Let's say the producers would find where they left their checkbook and Nev Campbell's number, and here we are.
It's fine. Sydney's story's not over.
I just had a feeling that the whole "we don't have enough money to pay you" wasn't as solid of an excuse as they made it seem.
So this is actually Melissa Barrera's third
Sydney
film collaborating with these Radio Silence folks.
So far, so good. Yeah.
And it's said to be a very, very loose remake of Dracula's Daughter.
Yes.
From 1936. And the directors felt like they needed to apologize to the cast because of all the blood that was used on set, because they said it's their bloodiest film to date.
That's nice of them.
If you've seen Ready or Not,
yes,
it's pretty bloody. And of course, the Scream movies are pretty bloody.
But Ready or Not especially has a plot device in it that requires a lot of blood.
Yes. So this is even bloodier than that.
Nice.
So expect slasher,
we're expecting
vampire, Evil Dead, dark humor,
Dead Alive
really
levels.
Polished.
Yeah.
April 19th. Very excited.
So Abigail started its life, funnily enough, and we've been seeing these films come out lately as part of Universal's famously aborted Dark Universe. Remember the Dark Universe, everybody? Neither does anyone. So, the one that was going to have Russell Crowe and Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, this was one of those scripts. This was going to be part of that. And like Renfield and Last Voyage of the Demeter, these things have been they've been like repurposed and they're being released. And I thought Renfield was
repurposed.
I thought Renfield was dope. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
with
we
Renfield.
really did. We didn't watch it for quite a long time after we recommended it, but once we did,
it was great.
It was silly that we waited so long.
It's really fun. And honestly, anything by Radio Silence, especially with
I'm really a big fan.
Melissa Barrera and Catherine Newton together.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see them share the screen. That's
favorite
fantastic.
new up and coming Scream queens.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Durant is always solid, a great character actor.
Yeah.
I'm really we fought over this one.
I know.
It was dirty, it was ugly. It's why I'm in the cellar now.
Exactly.
Yeah. I didn't win.
You didn't and never will. But if you, seriously, everyone, this is a call to action. If you want to see Richard or hear Richard out of the cellar more often, just give us a like or a follow on one of our many streaming platforms.
Please, I think I might be developing scurvy.
Oh, well, we're going to do an infections episode, so maybe you might be a topic.
Didn't we do that already?
No.
Oh, God. Oh, no, it's because I've been watching all the movies to prepare for it.
Yeah.
I know. My skin has been like itchy and weird for days because I've been watching nonstop fucking gross movies.
Just to let you all know, it's been longer than days. I mean, he's had skin problems.
Oh, yeah.
For most of the time.
Absolutely. It's basically like Pizza the Hut over here.
Well, our phone lines are lighting up, so we're going to take a few calls, and we'll catch you on the next episode, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Terror in Tandem is written, produced, and recorded by Laura and Richard Mathiasen, and edited and mixed by Richard Mathiasen. Our theme was written and performed by Carrie Denver, and all other music was written and performed by David Sispanik. All opinions expressed on this podcast are our own and should be taken as such. Thanks for listening, and please remember to give us a like, a review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. We're standing right behind you.